Coming in at number 5 on Cigar Aficionado's top 25 cigars for 2019, I've got the Rocky Patel A.L.R. in Toro. Stay tuned. All right. Welcome back to another episode of Cigar Sherpa. I'm your host, A.L.R. Mayhew, and today I've got a cigar that I'm looking forward to, as I'm sure a lot of you are. It is it's from Rocky Patel. It's the A.L.R., which stands for Aged, Limited, and Rare. So, pretty impressive cigar from what I've seen. I've yet to smoke it yet, but it did make the top 25 list for Cigar Aficionado's top 25 of 2019. This one coming in at number 5. So, a little bit about the cigar. They released the A.L.R. last year, and it was in limited supply. I think they only made 2,000 boxes, and so once they run out, they're gone. So this was the re-release, the second edition. It's not the same blend. It's a different blend. And according to Rocky Patel, these cigars come from a virgin farm. Okay, virgin farm. I'm not going to get into explaining that. I don't have a lot of time here to go into all of the science behind it. But pretty much the tobaccos from a virgin farm are a lot more bold, a lot stronger, a lot more flavorful. So virgin farm tobaccos, aged 4-6 years, I don't know, they didn't say. But once these cigars are rolled, they go into a humidor and they are aged for 2 years. Okay, so this cigar, I'm going to just say if it's got 2 to 4 years of tobacco curing and aging, the cigar is then rolled and then it is aged for an additional 10 years. So I don't want to hear one person out there talking about, ooh, I'm going to let this rest in my humidor, give it some age, it'll be better. Rocky Patel's the expert. He aged this thing for 2 years and he sent it to market. I'm taking his word for it. So should you. Anyway, let's get into this thing. So it's got a Mexican San Andrés wrapper. It's got Nicaraguan binder and Nicaraguan fillers. Okay. So construction on this thing. Well, first let's get to the band, because the band is just beautiful. I mean, you're probably paying an extra $2-3 just for the band, which I think I paid $13 for the cigar. I'm gonna tell you right now, for everything that went into this cigar, from what I can see of the construction already, the aging, the smell, $13. I mean, if I made this cigar, you'd be paying $200 for it, because it just takes a lot of time. But we'll get into that on another review. So it's got a long band that you're going to have to take off in order to get it lit, and it's very, very ornate. It's got this rose gold, iridescent, lifted, perforated. It explains the cigars, a lot of writing on it. Second edition, the 2016 Rocky blended a cigar featuring blah, blah, blah. You read it for yourself. I'm not going to go into that. Construction on this thing is absolutely beautiful. It's got wow. I can't tell if that's a triple cap or a quadruple cap, because it is just so seamless. I mean, get a look at it. It's seamless. I mean, you can see the seams, but they kind of disappear. Beautiful, 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 chocolatey brown Mexican San Andrés Maduro wrapper. I'm going to say it's a triple cap, but I really can't tell because it's so flawless. Right away, the aroma of the cigar, I'm getting a cedar, cocoa, cedar and cocoa, maybe leather, good fine leather. Getting an earthy smell off the foot, and there's a sweetness there. Right behind the earthiness is a sweetness, almost like a raisin. That's what I associate with. I'm pairing this today with one of two pairings, and just so happens right now is my black coffee from Starbucks. Inside the Yeti cup. I don't work for Yeti. I'm just telling you, well worth the money. They keep things. I mean, there's probably an hour old in there, and it just kind of burned my lip, so if that tells you anything. All right, so where were we on this thing? Oh, let's cut it. All right, so today, construction. Beautiful construction, flawless construction. It's soft, it's not spongy, it's dense, it's not heavy. The seams are invisible. I mean, I have to really look for it. The wrapper is smooth, it's oily. God, can I find a seam here? I want to find it. So, oh, right there. Okay, invisible seams, flawless construction, beautifully crafted cigar. Let's hope it tastes the same. So, in my little arsenal of cutters, I'm going to cut this softly box press cigar. I'm going to use a guillotine today. Okay, nothing special. Again, got it from my local tobacconist, Anstead's, here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I think if I go up there tomorrow, I think it's Tuesday. If I go up there tomorrow and I show them this, I'll get an extra 10% off. Plus, I get like 10% on everything that I buy, and they give you this really cool rewards point system in dollars. I think I'm up to like $60. So I'm going to let that climb up a little bit, and I'm going to go in there. I'm going to hit them with a big purchase. So let's go ahead and get this thing clipped. Earthy flavors. Leather. Again, I did that yesterday. A little piece of like dust right in the back of my throat. I'm going to have to remember that for next time. Cedar. A little cedar wood. Some earthy. A little sweetness there. Probably playing off the foot smell there. All right, let's get this lit up. And again, I'm going to go ahead and toast this thing. I'm going to take my my Vertigo AK-47 of cigar lighters. I'm going to hold it about 2 inches back and just toast it up. How you light it, your preference. I like to just kind of get it toasted, going. Swirl it around. Okay. I'm probably going to edit a little bit of that out. All right. Right away, strong cedar flavor. Black pepper on the retrohale. Whoo, black pepper on the palate. Black pepper in the back of the throat. And kind of a chocolatey, slight chocolate, but good earthy tobacco core. Whew, man, that pepper is really getting me right there. I kind of, maybe when you try the cigar out, don't retrohale fully. Do a little bit just to kind of pick up the note, and you'll know what I'm talking about when you get it. Definitely in the boutique cigar atmosphere. Very well constructed. This has got a flawless draw to it. I mean, effortless. Not too loose. It's not too airy. It's not too tight. It's just flawless. The black pepper is strong. The cocoa is there. Black coffee is starting to come in now. Cedar wood on the finish. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get into the first third, and when I come back, I'm going to tell you if this thing's transitioned or if it's petered out. Stay tuned. All right. We're coming into about the end of the first third here on a 5.5 inch by 52 ring gauge Toro cigar. And it's good. You know, if you've seen some of my reviews before, you know, if I'm excited about it, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to lie. The cigar has got some good flavors. It's got that cedar and pepper, which are there. I mean, they ain't going nowhere. It went from like a full strength, full-bodied cigar. It mellowed out. I'm still going to call it full-bodied. It mellowed out to about a medium strength cigar. The cedar, the pepper. It's got some chocolate in the background. It's not very prominent. I'm going to go ahead and ash this thing. It's burning really good. And the smoke just as I ash that, it's weird. Now the smoke just took on a more creamy texture, and now I'm getting a coffee note, like a creamed coffee. So a slightly sweet, creamy smoke along with the cedar and the pepper. Retrohale is, oh, that sweetness is really picking up. Ooh, that's almost like a, I want to say spicy. When I say spicy, baking spice, I want to say I'm getting a nutmeggy, vanilla. That's interesting. I'm going to have to kind of let that develop before I call it, but it's definitely gotten creamy. It's definitely sweetened up, and it's definitely mellowing out now as I'm going into the end of the first third, about into the second third. Burning really good. The ash is really tight. It's not very white. I don't know. Some people, you know, they associate a nice white ash with finer tobaccos. All I'm looking at here is the construction and the flavor, and the burn rate. So, I mean, it's a good cigar so far. I'm not so sure that, as of yet, that it's a top 25 cigar. I can name cigars right off the bat that I like better than this, but I am enjoying it. It is a very, I mean, it tastes like aged tobacco. So we're gonna see how that creaminess develops. I'm getting a little bit of a tang, which I believe is referred to as citrus by some people. And I'm not a big fan of that, so hopefully that'll peter itself off. But I'm gonna go ahead and keep smoking this thing. I'm gonna get into the second, third, halfway point of the cigar and come back and let you know where it's going from there. Stay tuned. All right, so we're about to the halfway point in this cigar, so we're into the second, third, and I was just making some notes here. And while I got you here, if you're new to smoking cigars and you're trying to figure out what your flavor profile is or what you like, or you're just a nerd like me and you want to keep up with what you smoke and what you liked about it, what you didn't, keep a journal. I mean, you can go and you can buy a fancy bound journal, and most retail shops sell them. You can get them on Amazon, and they're specifically designed for, you know, put the band on there and take notes. And I just use a notebook, regular old, what do you call, college rule spiral notebook, and keep my notes. So, all right, so the flavors really have not transitioned too much. I'm still getting cedar. I'm still getting pepper, although the pepper has kind of mellowed out a little bit. I'm still getting a chocolatey sweetness with a creamy smoke. So I thought I might be getting some baking spice there and a little vanilla, but that really never materialized into anything. It was just in the transition there. So I've got a creamy smoke here. It's got a sweet flavor to it. It's earthy. Okay, so if I had to round this out and you just wanted me to tell you, you know, a real quick Reader's Digest version, I would say that I'm getting an earthy, cedar, peppery flavor. Okay, it's got a short finish. Almost a bitter finish. That black coffee, like a good black coffee. It's not a bad bitterness. It's not like an acrid bitterness. It's just not. It's not a sweet, long, peppery finish. The pepper is still black pepper. It's still very light on the palate. I'm still getting it in the retrohale. Here now, getting to the halfway point, it's picking up kind of a musty earth flavor, which is good. I enjoy it. So there you go. Not much. So we transitioned into more of a musty, earthy flavor from the first act of the cigar, which would be the cedar, the pepper, and the chocolatey earth. Now it's more of a musty earth and the black coffee on the finish. So that's about it. It's burning really good. The ash has not been really tight. It's been kind of flaky, and now it's just kind of splitting right there, but it's burning real good. The draw has been effortless the whole time. I have not had to touch it up. I did have to shut it down and go take a phone call in between the last cut. And I was probably gone for about 10 minutes. I came back and blew out, and smoke came out and started puffing on it, and it picked right back up. So it's definitely a cigar that's going to kick back and wait on you. It doesn't burn really fast. I am probably 30 minutes into this cigar now, and we're just at the halfway point. I'm going to go ahead and pull this wrapper off now that it's heated up a bit. And that is a pretty wrapper. I'll show you that. Very nice, very nice. I don't know what you do with your wrapper. Not wrappers, rings or bands. It's a pretty band. I save all mine. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I've got multiple bags full of them. At one point, I did take an old whiskey bottle and kind of glue all the bands to it and made a nice little ornate decoration for my non-smoking smoke room that's in my house, because I'm not allowed to smoke in my house, and I wouldn't even if I was allowed to. You don't want to do all that. Anyway, I'm going to keep smoking this thing. We'll get into the final third, and I'm going to let you know what I think. Stay tuned. All right. We are coming into the last, we're done. We're in the last third of the cigar, and this is where I'm going to end it. Towards the last third there, it picked up some leather notes. The pepper and the cedar kind of took a back seat. The sweetness is still there, barely. The earthiness went from a good, deep earth, sweet earth. It went into more of a mossy earth note, and then it just kind of fizzled out. So right now, in the last third, the last few puffs that I'm getting the leather, and I'm getting a dry, woodsy note. Almost leaves it like a metallic taste in my mouth, and I'm not enjoying it. So at that point, if I'm not enjoying it, I'm going to go ahead and chuck it. When I took the band off until now, so the last 15 minutes or so, the draw kind of opened up a little bit, which causes the smoke, if you're taking big old puffs like I do, it causes the smoke to kind of get hot. And when it gets hot, the flavors change, and I don't like to smoke my cigars really slow. And I'm not saying, a lot of people will throw a cigar out when it gets to as part of their practice. If I'm enjoying the cigar, I got a corncob pipe that I'll stick that baby in. I'll smoke it down to nothing. This one just not doing it for me. So overall, it is a good cigar. I'm not going to call it a great cigar. It is a good cigar. It's one of the better ones I've had from Rocky Patel, and I'm not saying that Rocky Patel doesn't do a great job, because he does a great job. Just some of his cigars that I've smoked, they're just kind of ho-hum to me. The Hamlet that I reviewed was really good. So, top 25, not if I was doing the list, but definitely a good cigar. You should run out and try it, because any cigar that makes the Cigar Aficionado top 25, you should at least try. Judge for yourself. So, again, this has been the Rocky Patel. It is the age-limited rare, the A.L.R. in Toro at 5.5 and a 52 ring gauge. And again, it was the number 5 on the top 25 cigars for 2019, according to Cigar Aficionado and the tasters there. Daily cigar, daily arsenal cigar, no, it's just too expensive. That's going to be the only reason. It's not something that I'm going to rush out and smoke again, unfortunately. But I do recommend you try it anyway. See for yourself. Who the fuck am I? So, I'm going to have to bleep that out. Sorry. Anyway, this has been Laird Mayhew, your cigar Sherpa, reminding you to be polite to everybody that you meet. How hard is that? Just be polite. But always have a backup plan in case you got to exercise that Second Amendment right. And I'm out.